Hey, it's John from Adults Have Toys Too. So I've been working on a video that involves a bunch of different cameras, and kind of on a whim, I picked this up. It's a Fujifilm Instax Mini 11. I got it used in Mercari for like 25 bucks and thought it would be kind of a throwaway addition to my video. But this thing surprised me at how much fun it is as a toy. Enough so that I thought I would throw together this little video to show you what it is that I like about it so much. Too long didn't watch? It's cheap, it's fun to use, it brings you instant satisfaction, and is really interesting in how it works. But if you want the whole story, stick around. Smile. The Fujifilm Instax Mini 11 is the latest in the Instax line. It takes the original 46 by 62mm Instax Mini film, not the newer wide or square formats. The Mini film is considerably less expensive and comes in many more fun frame styles than the larger formats do. They're actually film with an ISO of 800, and in the Mini 11 there's no digital component whatsoever, just controlled light shining on the film itself. The Mini 11 is smaller and lighter than previous models, with a higher quality lens and a built-in selfie mirror. It takes two AA batteries that power the shutter and flash. The lens has a focal length of 60mm, but because it projects directly onto the photo, it's the equivalent of a 35mm view. It's a super basic camera with no manual controls. The camera adjusts exposure on its own with shutter speed, and the flash always fires with every picture. Let's take a closer look. So let's go over the parts of this camera real quick. If you look up front, we have the viewfinder. It's an optical viewfinder. You can see it all the way through on the other side. The shutter button, the flash, a selfie mirror with the lens, a button that extends the lens which turns on the camera. You can see the power indicator light up here, and over here we have the autofocus. Along this side, nothing, but you can see some striations along the side of the lens. You would think that would mean we can twist it to focus or to zoom, but no, they're not there for anything really. On top, you can see an indicator for selfie mode. We pull this out and we get a different focal length and a different focus to be able to take a selfie a little bit better. The older versions of the camera needed an accessory for that. If we go around back, we see the door where you load the film. There's a window to see if there's film inside of the camera, another window that tells you how many shots you have left. On this side we have a door for the batteries, and on the bottom there's nothing, not even a tripod mount. So like I said in the intro, I'm pretty surprised at how fun this thing is. Most people come across these things by having a party and they want to pick up something that they can hand out to their friends, and they can take some photos impromptu and have those instant prints come out to share. That was not my path to this thing at all. The way I came around to this was actually looking at different ways of printing photos. And that brought my attention to the Instax line of printers. So this is the Instax Mini Link that actually prints onto Instax film. When I say film, I'm not talking about 35mm. I'm talking more along the lines of the old Polaroid cameras. Actually very similar to the old Polaroid cameras. So when I picked up the Instax printer along with some film, I realized that the film also works in the Instax camera line. So I checked on Mercari just to see if there was a cheap one available, and happened to find the latest model for about $25. So I actually did have an event that the Instax camera would have been pretty perfect for, but I didn't like the idea that I couldn't save the photos. So I actually picked up a Polaroid, this being the Snap Touch, which is actually a digital camera that uses zinc inkless printing. So next I'm going to actually take a look at one of these films that has not been exposed yet. So I have one left, and I'm going to sacrifice this for you guys to see what it is we're working with inside. So here's the film cartridge, and the other side is a now completely fully exposed Instax film. This tab here is where the film gets pushed out. Comes out of the camera. And you can see on front, it's all white right now, and there's actually a little bit of chemical. I could feel the pouch in here that would be squeezed and rolled all the way through. And up top in here is a little sponge that takes the chemicals, all the excess chemicals, and brings them in. So now this is developing, though it's 100% exposed, so it should come up white. So we'll take a closer look in the back here. You can actually see there's a rubbery material in here that when you extend the lens, expands out to cover the gaps next to the lens. While this is open, I can actually take a picture. And you can see the leaf shutter open, exposing the film, and a little arm moving up and down to move the film out. We'll try that one more time. Expose, and the arm. And one more time, if you look up top, there's some rollers that spin to squeeze the film and put that chemical through the film and expose the photo. If we take a look at the door of the camera, there are these two spring-loaded arms which then go interact with the film cartridge. You can see here the arms would push through, pressing the film forward, and then when the picture is taken, there's a notch right here that little arm would come through to push the film up and through this plastic door and through the rollers to squeeze the exposing chemicals. So now that we have it open and know how it works, we'll take a look at the film. It comes in a foil package with a notch that you can tear to open. You can see an unexposed film cartridge. So you can see where those spring-loaded arms will push to push the film forward. We have a door blocking the film to keep it from being exposed before you place it in the camera. There's a yellow indicator here, which you line up with the yellow indicator here. Placing this whole box into the camera, close it up, and pull the shutter release to pull out that black door that's protecting the film. Now you're ready to shoot. Now, one thing I found very interesting about this camera is how it exposes the film. I'm going to go ahead and take a picture right now, and you'll see that the way the film is oriented is the back is facing towards the lens with the fat portion at the top. But the way you would look at the photo is with the fat portion on the bottom looking at the photo side. So the reason for that is when the light comes in the lens, it actually comes across and projects the image upside down. It's actually the same way your eyes work. You see upside down, but your brain flips it around for you. So then that mirrored image, which is exposed on the back of the film, is pushed through the rollers, causing the chemicals to seep up through the photo, which causes the image to appear on the front. So next I'm going to run and take a picture real quick, and I'm going to show you the development process. So I took a picture, and you can see the film coming out. The side got exposed, and I will place it here, and we'll fast forward this a little bit. So that's just about developed, and you can see the photo here. It'll actually develop a little bit further over the next hour or so and get a little bit darker and more contrasty. But I think it's really cool how a lens just projects some light on the back of this, and that's what you end up with. You get a one-time shot, you don't know what you have until it develops, and after that, this is your only copy. And for those of you who are curious about my little squeezed version here and what happened with it, you can see that it is exposed all white, though there's some markings on here from probably too many chemicals in one spot. And in case you were wondering, the printer itself is a really interesting bit of kit. Works the same way. We have these little arms here that push the film forward. There's nothing on this back side here that would expose the film. If you look up in here, it's kind of hard to see, there's a roller, but there's also an array of OLEDs that will shine on the film as it's being pulled out of the printer, causing it to print the image onto the film. So just as an example, here is a photo that was printed onto the Instax film that was taken on a digital camera. And if you want to see how my small collection of photo printers compare, be sure to subscribe because I will be doing a video on that in the future. So yeah, this thing brings me both fun and satisfaction. That's what this channel is all about. If you want to see more of that, be sure to subscribe and leave a like. But until next time, never stop having fun.